In a world where violence and mayhem is everywhere, where people are torn between countries, like when people argue over who's going to have the last double-stuffed Oreo, and order has been flung into chaos, the world seemed bleak. Until one day, a brave bear stepped forward, all stopped immediately to stare at him as he foolishly walked across the battlefield. He stopped in the center and asked, "Would anyone like a marmalade sandwich?" Everyone stopped what they were doing and had a marmalade sandwich. And just like that, the war was over. Friendships were born, arguments were settled, every nuclear bomb and missile were disarmed, and it was discovered that marmalade was the cure to cancer. And more importantly, all thanks to the brave little bear, we finally had world peace. I loved Paddington too. Hello and welcome to Dudw Productions. I'm your host, Dudw, and welcome to my show. Here we talk about media, from movies, to shows, to games, and the occasional book. Whether they be good, bad, just okay, or even a guilty pleasure, I'm here to talk about them with some poorly drawn animations to help me out. Are you ready? Well, grab your controller and press start, because here we go! I still remember going to see the original Paddington, expecting it to not be that good of a movie. But I walked out thinking, that was actually really good. The film was charming, funny, heartwarming, and just overall, fantastic. It was just my kind of movie where the film was just good family fun. Sure, I like some good older films, but I was raised watching the likes of Kipper the Dog, VeggieTales, and Winnie the Pooh, so I enjoy some happy feel-good movies, dang it! Funnily enough, the Shaun the Sheep movie was released the same year, and it was more of that fun and heartwarming material that Paddington had. But anyways, much like every other movie that is met with a great box office reception and attention from critics, a sequel was bound to happen. And today, we will have a look at said sequel. Will it meet the same level as the original? No. It surpassed it. After the first movie, Paddington has settled in with the Browns and has become quite liked by his neighbors, except for the 12th Doctor. When it comes time for Aunt Lucy's birthday, she's Paddington's aunt by the way, Paddington wants to get her a special pop-up book of London, but it's expensive, so Paddington takes on some jobs to get money for the book. But then, someone breaks into the shop where the book is and steals it, and Paddington gets framed for the robbery and sent to prison. While Paddington tries to adjust to prison life, the Browns attempt to clear Paddington's name and catch the real criminal. Now, for the story of a sequel, it's pretty good. Paddington tries to adapt to prison, kind of like Muppets Most Wanted, but with a bear instead of singing puppets. The Browns all have new stories and try to help Paddington in any way they can, and Hugh Grant was added to the cast as the main villain. He does a great job as a character that's a threat, but is so charming and likable as well. And there are other new characters like Knuckles, the chef for the prison that Paddington is sent to. Ah, so that's what Mad-Eye Moody looks like without his makeup. While the film does reuse a couple of jokes from the previous film, it still comes up with some fresh and fun moments to make it different from the first one. And while talking about fun moments, this film is one of the most fun, most sweet, most happy films I have ever seen. I was smiling for the first 10 minutes, I laughed all throughout the middle, and at the end of the movie, I almost cried. If you made your audience do that while watching your movie, you know you've done something right. Paddington himself is just such a likable character. He's always nice, always polite, and always well-meaning. Even if he's in a tight situation, he tries to remain optimistic, and if someone or something gets him down, he doesn't hold a grudge. And I like that he has such a good heart. It makes you wish that you knew him in real life, especially since he has such a nice effect on people. He could brighten your day no matter how bad it's going. Seriously, he could end a war just by offering both sides marmalade sandwiches. He's awesome. I don't know if that would work, but I'm just saying, if that's the plot of the third movie where Paddington has to go to boot camp for some weird reason, that's how the film would end. Another thing I like about the film is Hugh Bonneville as Mr. Brown, mainly because after watching through Downton Abbey, where he plays a more serious character, here he's hilarious. The actors all gave great performances of their characters, and you combine that with the charming and clever writing, and you get a film that can be enjoyed by anybody. Paddington 2 is just an absolute treat. It's a family movie that has fun moments, lovable characters, and is an overall pleasant experience. I don't just recommend it to the family looking for a movie to see on their fun days. I recommend it to everyone. Both Paddington movies are great, but the second one somehow manages to be better than the first. If they keep making the movies like this, we could have a solid trilogy of films. I know it feels like this review is getting kind of repetitive, but this film is just amazing, and I don't think I can say much more about it. You need to see it right now. Well, after you see Black Panther. But then you should see Paddington 2. I guess that's what happens when you get the producer of Harry Potter to work on your family movie. You get something amazing. Actually, I wonder what the guy's working on next. Let's see here. Wait, he's working on a Warriors movie? I demand to be at the premiere!